Hi everyone, it's Sonia from Sonia's Mixed Media here, and I'm going to show you an update on my black and white collage journal that I've been working on. And although it's not completely finished, it is just about there, so I thought I might as well do an update and show you the bits and pieces that I've added since my last video. And then I'll go ahead and I'll show you what I will be doing next. So this is the cover that I made. That's pretty much the same as before. I'm still looking for a nice image to stick on the front there, but nothing's really caught my eye yet because I want it to be quite special. So still looking for a black and white image for the front cover. And now we'll go into it. So this is my first layout. Now the things that I've added, I won't go through every single picture that I've added since the last video, but what I have done is I have added some of my own art sketch work. So over the past week or two I've developed my own way of sketching, and it's actually called scribble drawing, and I hate that term. But that's what it's called, scribble drawing. I prefer to call it sketchy sketching, sketchy sketches. But it's actually where you are scribbling with a pen to create your sketches, and I find it very relaxing, and I find it a very easy way to draw, and I find that my sketches are coming out much better using this technique. So it's something I'm really fond of at the moment. So I've gone and done as much collage as I can, and then to fill in those little spots I thought, why not add some of my black pen sketches. So there is a little frog that I did. This one here is one of my own sketches. So, and I think it really kind of suits the book as well. So if you'd like to know how I actually went about making this book, I do describe it a bit more in detail in a previous video, so I won't go through it all again, but basically I just used background papers first and covered all the background paper with these different kinds of papers, and then I came in with my washi tapes, and then I did my collage, main feature images, and last of all I did my sketches. So this is my second layout. I also did a bit of stamping on this, and this to me looks kind of like a Japanese or Chinese symbol of some sort. I don't know if it is or if it's just made out, but I put that in there. So I'll just flip through and let you enjoy and hopefully get some inspiration. I've had to actually use some tape on some of these middle pages because this was actually just a normal book I got from a library book sale, and I covered the pages, but for some reason I think maybe because I ripped a couple of pages out, the pages started getting loose, so I had to go and tape the middle of most of the pages. And there's my dogs on cue because I'm making a video. They have to bark. Okay, so this is another layout. I really like this one here, and lots of things going on there. And again, one of my sketches. This one's of a man from a magazine image that I saw. And I really like varying the images I put on every page. Like nothing really makes sense, or it doesn't sort of pairs don't go with a x-ray of a hand. I just pick these pictures because I like them and they speak to me in some way or another, and they don't have to match at all. And that's what I like about my collage books. This is one of my favourite images, the sad gorilla here. I've added some words into here as well. This layout here I don't feel is completed. Not particularly happy with this page here. It needs something done with this, but it's getting there. This is just a stamp that I did, and then I just outlined it in like a black marker. Again, one of my little sketches. That one's some mushrooms. This said keepsakes at the top, so I quite liked that. That was on the book page to start with, so I kept that there, and I thought it was cute to have the little babies underneath. Another favourite layout, I just liked how this one really came along. These two images were out of two complete different books, but the way they've been printed and the colouring in them like really matched, so I was quite happy with that. Trying to get this right in the middle of the camera would be good, wouldn't it? There we go. Again, one of my sketches. That was, I always use reference photos, so this was a fish out of a magazine that I sketched. And I'm going to put it up that way because I liked it up that way like that. I thought it looked better. This page has actually even got a bit of glitter on it. This is my next layout. Again, another little sketch. That one's of a bird. I really like this image with the little Victorian type children there. This image here wasn't even black and white, it was gold and black, but I just liked the look of it onto this really aged paper, so I decided to stick it in anyway. But the more black and white images I put in, the more I realised how gold looking that was, but you know, it doesn't really bother me. This little image here, Heidi, if you are watching, that's one that you sent me. So I've stuck that in there. And again, I've added a sketch that I did. This is a hiker with his backpack. So they're just kind of random images. I really like how I stuck that there, and underneath was this writing from this picture here that I cut out, and I really like how the sketch looks on top of that sketchy type writing. I think that looks like a really cool effect. And then we have this page. Again, another little sketch. This one's more of a, I think they're called line sketching, where you don't lift your pen off of the paper. It's just a fun little doodle that I did. Decided to stick him down there. And then I really like this image here. It's a man in this capsule thing, and I don't even really know what it is because I didn't read the article, and I wish I did because it actually said what it was. But yeah, it's in some sort of weird capsule type thing, so I just found that a really interesting image. Things like that catch my eye. I love old images like that where it's like, what is that? I don't know what that is. Then we have this image here. My past video I talked about this man, how I love this man in this scene on the beach here, walking in his suit. There's just something really charming about it. And then we got this kind of Mary Poppins type figure silhouette. I added that. Still probably might want to put something over this writing here. And did a violin just for the sake of doing a violin. I just felt like drawing a violin. It's not really in proportion, but there's my little scribbly sketch. And we're nearly there. Really like this layout as well. I love this blotchy image here where someone has spilt some ink that came out of like a art magazine. And again, I sketched this camera, which I think looks really cool up there. This is a tag that I got out of Daphne's diary. And my friend Heidi over in the UK sent me this image, which I absolutely love. Heidi is really rustic and just gorgeous. I love it. It's got pine cones in there and an old saw, and some old containers. And this actually reminds me of my childhood. We used to go visit a man, a farmer where I lived, and we used to call him Pop because he was kind of like, he was quite old, and he used to let us visit as kids, and we'd go into this shed of his and he would let us pack all his eggs into trays, and it had a very particular smell in there, and I actually really loved the smell. And this image here actually really reminds me of that shed, because it's kind of what it looked like, all rummagey and dirty like that. And yeah, so it's actually a really good picture that you sent me, Heidi. Thank you very much. Again, I've got this image up here. This is just a doormat that said hello, and again, it's not in black and white, but I just, you know, really like the image, so stuck it in there. So don't always stick to completely black and white. And then this is my last layout. I think this needs something here, you know, not quite happy with this. This is something Heidi sent me as well, this stupendous, quite like that. And then I just did a bit of stamping on this page with these leaves here. And this was a sign, so I cut that out, the Ox and Bistro Hound, thought that looked cool. So yeah, and that's the last one. So like I said, there's a couple of pages that I really want to work on still, but I'm really quite happy with the finished result, and it makes me happy just looking at it and going through it. And I'm actually really glad that I added in my little sketches, because it makes it more personal to me. You know, it's something I can look back and go, oh, I drew that, and be amazed that I actually drew it. Because my drawing skills go up and down depending how often I do it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little update. Now what I'm going to show you is my next project I will be working on is this one. And this is going to be a collage journal, but I'm going to do it in all these lovely brown tones. So this is going to be my brown coffee toffee type book, collage book. And I've picked this book here. Again, this I got from the library sale. I've picked this book because inside is not, you know, 100 pages, so it's really good. I don't really need to tear too much out of this, but a lot of the pages inside already have these brown, these lovely brown chocolatey toffee images in here to work off of. So that's why I've picked this book, and plus it's a hardcover, so I'm hoping that it's going to hold up a bit better than my soft cover book did. So I just need to cover this front cover, which I'll do, and then just get straight into it and start collaging in here. I'll show you some of the fodder I've picked out for this that I've started collecting. I've still probably got about 20 magazines to go through to get some more fodder, but so far I've got a few things. Now these are pages I got out of, again, at that library sale. I picked up a book all about quilts and quilt artists, because I used to do a bit of sewing of quilts. And but I did pick it up for the images inside because I thought that they'd make really good background images. So this is a few pages that I've torn out that I'm going to use for backgrounds. So these are all quilts, but again, like I said, really good background images to use in my collage journal. So we have this one. I've torn out all the ones with the brownie, toffee, chocolatey sort of colours in them. So we have hands. This one is like all collaged fabric and papers. This one. So as you can see, they're all kind of really great for backgrounds. This one here is actually probably more of a feature page. And of course bears, because I love bears. Okay, so that's those. Then I also wanted to show you, I keep all my magazine fodder in this huge, this huge folder. Disregard the fact that it says costumes up the top, because I used to use it as my costume folder. And in here, it's all my fodder, and it's just about full. This is like about 3 to 4 inches thick of fodder. So I'll just get out this one, this top one here. And this is where I collect all my images. So I thought I would show you what sort of images I collect. That's going to go in this new collage journal of mine. So they're all in the same sort of colours. So this one here, my daughter gave me. She found it at school in her design class. She was going through some magazines. So there's a car. We have a lizard. Just a little frame there. Cowboy hat. This was in a crafty magazine. I think that's like calico and a little badge. I have these feet, some background image. I've got a deer there. This lady's face I found really interesting. Look at the texture on her face. She looks like she's had a very, very hard life. Lion, so that's more of a goldy colour, but I don't actually mind using a little bit of gold in there. We have this here. Some map. This here I thought I might be able to use. It's like a book page. A little browny goldy frog. This is like a town. And some background image, which is some like rockery. And this lady with her brownish hair. More background. This sort of starfish. And I really like the texture in this with the different bricks and the crisscross. Again, got listen with reddish browny bricks. And this brownish dog. I don't know if I'll use all of these, but depends what works. This here, this little girl in her costume. Brown bag. This house here. Some walnuts. This sign here. Plants. Sweet potato. I mean, that's brownish, but it's also got red and green, so it could work. Probably some background. This house. This is the first image I actually pulled out of any magazine. This is sort of the colour palette that I wanted to go to. This I'm not sure if it's the right brown, but I thought I could maybe use it for a background or pieces of it. Some cliffs there. The house. Another house. Fireplace. These here are like plans for houses that are for sale. So they're kind of a brownie tone. Love these old suitcases. We have this. This. Background. So anything I can find in those brown toffee type colours I've just pulled out of magazines and I will be working from these. It's just to give you an idea, like none of them have any make any sense with anything else. It's just images that catch my eye and happen to be in the right colour tones. Just to give you an idea on the sort of fodder that I look for. Yep, that one. And then found this large one here. It's kind of in the right colour. Statue. So that's all my fodder I've got to work with for this book. I dare say I'm going to need a lot more because it does take a lot of fodder to make a whole journal up. But that's what I'll be working on coming up, and I might even add some paint in here. I might use some washi. I don't have a lot in this colour, so I'll see how I'll go with that. But that will be probably my next video, is to show you an update and show you what I've done with this brown toffee collage book. So happy collaging to you all. I hope you have a great day. Get those magazines out, start cutting up some fodder, and yeah, do some gluing. Have a great week. See ya.